To order, I hope you felt welcomed as you came in tonight. Our greeters were Kelly McGuire, our finance director, and also assistant finance director Chris Bile. They're both smiling, and it is budget season, so I think that's good news. And certainly, if you ever had any questions about our budget, our award-winning budget department, one or both would be happy to chat with you and go through it, explain it in detail. They know so much about the ins and outs of the Ormond Beach budget. Every year we win multiple awards in the budget area, and the fact that they're so transparent and willing to talk with people has been a plus for our city for many years. So we're grateful for that. That plus the fact our city manager has a huge budgeting background, and they all work together as a team to put it together. I'd like to introduce the folks who are sitting up in front of you tonight. To my right, your left, we have Recording Secretary Taylor Lockhart. Next is City Clerk Susan Dodderis. Then from Zone 1, Commissioner Lori Tolland.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome.
From Zone 2, one of our favorite zones in the city, Commissioner Travis Sargent.
Good evening, welcome.
To my left and your right, Zone 3 Commissioner Susan Persis.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
And we have Deputy Mayor and Zone 4 Commissioner, a zone near and dear to my heart, Harold Briley.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome.
Next is City Manager Joyce Shanahan. Assistant City Manager Sean Finley up on the dais with us, and Assistant City Manager, I saw her earlier, Claire Whitley is with us down in front. City Attorney Randy Hayes. And then way to my left and way to your right, over in the gallery, I guess you'd call it, we have Captain Roos filling in for Police Chief Jesse Godfrey this evening, and our Fire Chief Howard Bailey. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. And for those of you listening online, I'm Mayor Bill Partington. At this time, if you would silence your cell phones and rise for the invocation given by Evangelist John Jayasilan, that'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray together. Father God, your word tells us, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom you have chosen for your own inheritance. I am forever grateful to be a citizen of this great country, Father. I'm so grateful to be a part of this city of Ormond Beach. And Lord, your word also says, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land. Father, I pray that you'd heal our land, starting with our city, Father. And we thank you, Lord, for these leaders that you have appointed over us, Lord, as they have asked us to pray for your wisdom. We do the same, Lord. We pray for your wisdom, intervention, to impart your guidance to all these leaders, Father, and protect everyone, all of the family members of our city, Father. Thank you, Lord, for protecting us from hurricanes and disasters and keeping us strong. Lord, we will forever be grateful. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Presentations and proclamations. What we have tonight is a special time in any city when you get to welcome a new principal. And we have Pathways Elementary, the Patriots, a new principal with us, I believe this evening, Kevin Berry. Kevin, come on up. Welcome. Let the community get a good look at you and say a few words. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. It's an honor to be here this evening. It's an honor to be a part of Volusia County Schools, and it's an exceptional honor to be part of the illustrious top-notch group of schools that are part of the city of Ormond Beach. Thank you for tonight's introduction. At Pathways, we will continue and expand upon our reputation of excellence. We'll also continue to expand on our active involvement in our community. This year, our theme is Growing Leaders, One Patriot at a Time. So you'll see us around town and should expect us to help you learn more about the incredible work and service that is offered by our teachers, students, and staff. There are many reasons why we call Pathways Patriot Paradise, and this year we plan to add even more. I want to thank you for your support this evening and always. I always knew I would retire here, but I couldn't wait that long, so that's why I came here when I did, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity. We know that there's lots of people out there that are just really excited about volunteering with our school, so we encourage you to visit our social media sites, our website. We have an amazing PTA, and we are always looking for more members, so please visit our PTA at pathwayspta.org. But I just really want to thank you for being so welcoming. I've felt so at home. I started right when the teachers started, so it was kind of a mad rush. The families, the students, everyone has just been welcoming. It's been an amazing place, and I know why it's called Patriot Paradise.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, welcome. We're happy to have you. The Patriots, probably, I mean, they're right up there, one of our most patriotic schools. And, Commissioner Persis is a former principal, so she knows what you're going through right now. It's a busy time for all our principals. And, Ormond Beach, Deputy Mayor Briley is a realtor. They sell houses, and people don't want to buy houses in places that don't have good schools. But I tell you what, people want to buy houses in Ormond Beach. Right. They seek us out. That's big part of the reason. And so we're encouraged to have you here. Was it Gainesville?
Yes.
That you came from? And finally made your way to a wonderful place. I know you were trying to get here for some years. Not that Gainesville's not wonderful, but in its own way. But it really is great to have you here, and we wish you the best. And I know our commissioners love to get into classrooms, talk to kids, read to kids, do all the important educational things from a government perspective. So
Sure.
Don't feel free to call on us. And actually, our city employees love to do that as well. So don't forget about us.
We'll do it.
Awesome.
Expect an email tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. And it is, as I mentioned, budget time, and we are at the point where we adopt our fiscal year 24-25 proposed millage rates and tentative budget. At this time, I'm going to open the public hearings and ask our clerk to read resolution number 24-130 by title, please.
Resolution number 2024-130, a resolution adopting proposed millage rates for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, establishing a date, time, and place for a public hearing to adopt final millage rates and final budget, and setting forth an effective date. This is resolution number 2024-130, read by title only.
Per Florida statute, I'm required to state that the final millage rate for the city of Ormond Beach necessary to fund the fiscal year 24-25 budget is 4.0960 mils. This rate is 12.82% above the rollback rate of 4.0960 mils. The final debt service millage is 0.065 for the 2010 general obligation bond sinking fund. And Kelly, I think you're coming to correct me because that didn't make any sense when I just read it. Oh, this is the updated. It's not updated. Thank you. All right. This usually goes so smoothly. And this looks correct. All right, let's start again. Per Florida statute, I'm required to state that the final millage rate for the city of Ormond Beach necessary to fund the fiscal year 24-25 budget is 4.0960 mils. This rate is 12.82% above the rollback rate of 3.6305 mils. The final debt service millage is 0.065 for the 2010 general obligation bond sinking fund. This is a public hearing. I do have one card on the budget, and it is Joe Hanoush.
Thank you. Good evening, Joe Hanoush.
Good evening.
Just want to say that, there's always room to lower property taxes down. It's nothing to do with the actual budget. It's just like we could always allocate funds differently, which naturally would reduce the cost, as far as going to more friendly landscaping, less maintenance, so less cost. Another would be like let the market decide what businesses want to come here. If they want to come here, let them come here. There shouldn't be financial incentives for them to come here. And one last thing before I go, and this is somewhat to do with the budget, is, if y'all, I'm sure you'll hear later, about the state spending some of our tax dollars on, paving a park. I think it's nature. I think nature should not be paid via tax dollars. So thank you.
Thank you. Again, this is a public hearing. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak but maybe didn't get a chance to fill out a card, speak or ask questions prior to adoption of the final millage rate? If not, I need a motion and a second to adopt the final millage rate.
I move approval of resolution number 2024-130.
Second.
Moved and seconded. So the final operating millage of 4.0960 mils is 12.82% above the rollback millage rate of 3.6305 mils. The resolution also includes adoption of the final debt service millage rate of 0.065 for the 2010 General Obligation Bond Sinking Fund. Please call the vote.
Commissioner Tolland?
Yes.
Commissioner Sargent?
Yes.
Commissioner Persis?
Yes.
Commissioner Briley?
Yes.
Mayor Partington?
Yes. The final operating millage rate is set at 4.0960 mils, which is 12.82% above the rolled back millage rate of 3.6305 mils. Now we're on 5B. Susan, if you would, please read that by title only.
Ordinance number 2024-25, an ordinance adopting the annual budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, beginning October 1, 2024, and ending September 30, 2025, repealing all inconsistent ordinances or parts thereof and setting forth an effective date. This is the first reading of ordinance number 2024-25, read by title only.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second for either approval or...
Move approval.
Second.
All right. Any discussion, questions for Kelly? If not, please call the vote to adopt the budget of $131,976,868.
Commissioner Sargent?
Yes.
Commissioner Persis?
Yes.
Commissioner Briley?
Yes.
Commissioner Tolland?
Yes.
Mayor Partington?
Yes. Do I hear any objection to closing the public hearing? Hearing none, the public hearing is now closed. And we will move to audience remarks, starting with Ron Morrison.
Hello, I'm Ron Morrison, and I live at Timberlake Lane, which is a part of the Hidden Hills development in the city of Ormond Beach. I'm here this evening representing 17 homeowners who have homes on either side of a large canal that is integral to the city's stormwater drainage plan that protects hundreds of homes, businesses, and roads. I'm here tonight to tell a story about good intentions of the city that resulted in bad consequences. We have a serious problem with the canal. I'd like to first thank Commissioner Persis, who listened to the homeowners' concerns and physically visited the canal to see what we're dealing with. I submitted pictures. Picture one shows the inlet at Hidden Hills, where the city runoff water enters the canal, ultimately draining into the Tomoka River. This area has a history of flooding and erosion, and the city on numerous occasions tried to address these issues by elevating the roadway, constructing curbs, and other floodwater diversion techniques. Looking at pictures 2 and 3, part of the problem caused by the city's approach to address the flooding and erosion. 3 years ago, the city placed large riprap to protect the road. This diverted the natural flow of the river, resulting in significant shore erosion. The eroded material unfortunately began to collect in the canal. Less than a year ago, the city relocated riprap and dredged a large 4-foot deep pond behind 10 Timberlake Drive. Looking at picture 4, the result of this was impeded flow, proliferation of bramble overgrowth, and the formation of multiple islands. This caused the canal to become stagnant, a mosquito haven, which results in a community health concern. It's a verminous and vile site. It reduces our property values and certainly compromises our quality of life. Picture 5 shows that in spite of the city's Herculean efforts, the roadway erosion risks still exist. Picture 6 and 7 will show that the homeowners are now engaged in a project where we are clearing, dredging, grading, and restoring the lake. Picture 7 shows what the lake looked like before the city commenced its work trying to improve the roadway, protecting from erosion. We are paying $24,000 for this project to be done, and we're asking at this time for the city to commit $5,000 to help us pay for this. And our rationale here is that the city's course of actions, as noble as they were, okay, trying to help us, created most of the problems. It wasn't intentional, but we would not have the problems that we are experiencing now if the city did something other than it did. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Jennifer Bright.
In 1992, the UN Earth Summit produced a plan for sustainable development of the Earth's resources, Agenda 21. Sounds like another conspiracy theory to say that a plot for world government has reached into the city of Ormond Beach without you having read or heard a single word about it on the news. Agenda 21 is cloaked in euphemisms, most notably smart growth, sustainability, and of course green. Whenever you hear any of those terms used by a public official, be suspicious. Agenda 21 is lurking in the background. Agenda 21 functions at a local level, often informally. Do everyday citizens get interested in planning, zoning, building codes, environmental impact statements? Not unless a developer is proposing a fuel depot. Most people just aren't interested. And those that are know the city and county have always had a master plan to coordinate land use and zoning ordinances. They may think the 2045 plan is just more of the same. Agenda 21 is very much a stealth campaign and hiding in places where many people never look. Agenda 21 is set in public policies based on a philosophy of balancing the individual's rights against those of the community. So how can you balance individual rights with those of a community? The community has no rights under the U.S. Constitution. Individuals have rights, but the community as a whole, what is that? Worse, because the rights of the community are not defined in the Constitution, they can be changed without warning or notice. Agenda 21's policies are woven into general plans for governments to take control of land use and not leave any of the decision-making in the hands of the private property owners. Its aim is to micromanage redevelopment into forms more agreeable to the UN, like high-density housing, bikes instead of cars. This is done with public hearings and meetings carefully orchestrated in advance to manufacture consensus and deter dissent. It looks very much like the 2045 plan to transform Ormond Beach. And so Agenda 21 creeps forward virtually unopposed in Ormond Beach. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Suzanne Schreiber.
Hi, Suzanne Schreiber, representing Green Volusia. It was recently discovered that Florida Department of Environmental Protection has plans to pave 1.5 miles of dirt road located in Tomoka State Park for $1.5 million plus. While the project was approved 12 years ago, times have changed. We oppose the project for the following reasons. Number one, road development alters the hydrology of an area. Number two, Friends of Tomoka raised money for park needs and imminent maintenance but this funding for the paving is approved by FDEP. The park needs are greater than the paving of the road. Park rangers are driving 20-year-old trucks, and the Friends Group recently purchased a transmission for a vehicle. Number three, wildlife will be impacted in a negative way, including fragmentation. Number four, the park's history is rich and worthy of protection. There is a risk with the paving of the road, even if the most careful circumstances, the Nokoroko archaeological site should not be put in danger. Number five, the lack of transparency more recently is troubling, especially considering what just came out relating to other state parks. Number six, paving roads opens for future development. Number seven, cars can speed up on a paved road and are already driving fast on the dirt road in the park. Paved roads require maintenance as well as dirt roads, and heavy equipment is still needed. There is still an expense in exposing the park's history and nature to equipment and now in the future. The Friends of Tomoka Board cannot take a position as they fall under Florida State Parks. They are simply allowed to put out information. All of us have the right to take a position as we all share a responsibility for our remaining green spaces and history. This includes our local government that supported the designation of the scenic highway. The reason we are here tonight is to ask the Orman Commission for a letter of support for resurfacing the road with a more environmentally friendly permeable material and supporting remaining funds to be reallocated to other park expenses. These funds are specific to the road paving. However, requesting for a reallocation to needs that can be fulfilled by FDEP is practical. The flooding on the Orman Scenic Loop is a real issue, and pavement creates more runoff. When we know about existing problems, we cannot turn a blind eye and accept what was approved 12 years earlier. Difficult conversations do not go away just because they are difficult. Times have changed. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Elaine Davis.
Hello. Lane Davis. I live on Melrose. Here to talk about code enforcement again. Somewhere in this budget that you guys are doing, we have got to hire some more code enforcement officers. Take the handcuffs off them, let them do their job. I sat here at our last meeting and listened to pretty much the whole consensus here talk about Lowe's. I have a different opinion there on Lowe's. I don't think that there's a problem. I've been in and out of that store thousands of times. I'm a contractor. Not once did I ever say, wow, this makes my community look bad, ever. But every day when I come in off of US 1 on Wilmette, I'm embarrassed by my community. I live in the terrace. That corridor coming in there is a disgrace. Andre Lovem, he's everybody's mechanic. His place is a disaster. That's an eyesore to the community. Some of the properties coming in on Wilmette, trash and garbage and building material and storage containers, 3 years now. I've been coming here last February, brought you a whole packet of houses in our area that are in desperate need of code enforcement education. I don't want anybody fined, but somebody's got to get the word out to clean up the area. You know, we're building so much new that we're forgetting about the old that's here. And I mean, I live here, I've been here 22 years, and Travis lives right down the street. We want it cleaned up, but we can't do it because of that new law. You have to tell the neighbor that who made the complaint, then there's a neighbor issue, so everybody's kind of backed off of that. But we do. We need code enforcement officers. We need them out there doing their job. Take the handcuffs off. Let them go to work. We're not proactive. We haven't been proactive for a long, long time. It's time to make that change. We can't complain about what Lowe's looks like and let this other mess go on. So work together. We'll do it. We told you before. We would volunteer to help them. But whatever needs to be done, we just ask for your help. Thank you.
Thank you. Russell Bennett.
I came here tonight thinking this was going to be a budget meeting, but apparently it isn't a budget meeting. And maybe I should have directed this to financial director rather than commission. I've come here before, I would say, several years, and asked essentially the same thing, and that is that the little bit of survey that I've done with my friends from church and where I live and at the gym, we don't seem to need to have trash being removed from our properties twice a week. And I think it's a budgetary thing. It's got to be a budgetary thing. I think we can just go with one time that the trash needs to be removed. Where I live is the same place that Harold Briley lives, and he can attest to the fact that I guess most everybody either doesn't put trash out twice a week, or if they do, they only put one trash can out a week. And I just think that you could save some money by picking up the trash just one time a week. I don't know what suggestion I might have, maybe on Thursdays when the recycling truck comes, but maybe any other day be okay. So anyway, that's my suggestion. I don't know, maybe it's not supposed to be appropriate to a commission meeting, and maybe I should have addressed it at some other budgetary meeting, but I didn't know about any other budgetary meetings except for this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Elizabeth Bonds?
I live on 231 Warwick Avenue. I'm here to represent Dream Green Volusia. I just have to say I agree with that man wholeheartedly. I only put my trash out one time a week. I have no idea. My whole street, we don't use it more than once a week. Anyways, I'm here in regards to the recent attempted assault on our state parks. It's illustrated by how everyone came out of the woodwork to support the preservation of natural space. We have a year ago, a Florida Forever package was sent out for the Ford Marsh property that's 1,200 acres just east of Bulow Creek State Park. It's been delayed for a couple of different reasons, and it's not your fault, and just want to make sure that you guys are staying abreast of it, because I think that if you guys could do anything in your power to move this land purchase forward, the family wants to sell and wants to preserve the land, and I think it would bring a lot of good morale back to the community and trust in our local government, and replace like some of the trees that are lost due to like Wawa and Culver's and everywhere else that we've torn down our nation. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. James Smith?
Mayor, could you get him to talk a little louder? I can't hear him at all.
We can ask, sure. James Smith is next, followed by Ariel Kavanaugh.
I'll speak up.
Thank you.
Longtime Florida resident. Family's been here about 200 years or so, and seen it changed a lot. I went to Ormond Beach Elementary, middle school, and graduated at Seabreeze. But was hoping that the commission would stand with the park and not paving it. And basically that's, everything that this lady here said was perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Ariel Kavanaugh, followed by Catherine Pante.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here. I'm a resident of Holly Hill, and I frequently travel through Ormond Beach for work and also to run. I enjoy running. I come to just have you guys think about something. The magic of driving down a dirt road. It's kind of hard to find these days. I purchased a state park pass about a year or two ago, and I've renewed specifically to run through Tomoka State Park. I cannot enjoy a dirt road anywhere else around here. Think about it. And I just want you guys to, I want to invite you guys to think about your kids and your grandchildren and the magic that you get driving down there to the pier and enjoying the dirt road. Not to mention, when I go through there, I feel safe. I am not worried about traffic. I purposely go there. I park at the lot right where that paved trail is, go through and go out to Tomoka State Park because I am away from a lot of traffic. Paving it would invite possibly some speeding folks. I around those corners, and I don't see a benefit to paving it. I only see negatives, what other people have already brought up and will continue to bring up. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Catherine, followed by Arthur Armstrong.
Good evening, Commissioners. I come before you tonight to ask your help by not supporting paving in Tomoka State Park. Almost all paving leads to development, especially in light of what the state just tried to do with our eight of our parks. Paving will harm the native habitats of wildlife and plant life that live in the forest. Asphalt is one concern, as it contains coal tar pitch, a recognized human carcinogen. The seal coats used to seal the asphalt contain polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, also carcinogens. These seal coats deteriorate into fine particles which run off into storm drains, nearby waterways, and leach into the ground, which is why after a roadway is freshly paved, the first rain you see, fish die off on a roadway that's near water. Tomoka State Park is surrounded by water. A paved road is a human convenience, not a human necessity, and definitely not a human necessity in a state park. We have disrupted wildlife and green spaces with enough development the last 10 years. Our parks are the only place where wildlife has a home due to human intrusion. Let's not further damage their only home and contaminate our state parks by paving a dirt road merely for human convenience. Not only will we be poisoning the wildlife, we will be poisoning ourselves in the process. I request the City of Ormond Beach send a letter in opposition to paving our state park to FDEP. I also want to just read something from Earth Prayers. Animals referred to by John Muir as our horizontal brothers have long been recognized as essential to our development and well-being. Throughout history, they have played a major role in human thought and culture. They inhabit our myths, fables, proverbs, and stories. There is profound and inescapable need for animals among all people. For why animals have inhabited a world without people, we have never lived without the companionship, example, and practical help of animals. Today, because of widespread pollution of air and water, the rapid expansion of cities, and the destruction of wilderness habitat, we are seeing an imminent and irreversible loss of untamed animal life. We can only guess the future effect on our children of living in a world in which elephants exist only in zoos, the great whales no longer fill the seas with their song, and remaining forests are silent. We are asked to awaken to the plight of our animal relatives, to let their beauty and power come alive for us once more. We are members of a human family and society, but the presence of animals and others enlarges our perception of self beyond the city and opens us inward to the ground of being where live the lizard, monkey, fish, and bear. These are our relations. They are like us, offspring of the great mystery and necessary parts of balanced and living whole. Thank you.
Thank you. Arthur Armstrong, followed by Donna Craig.
Good evening, everyone. Arthur Armstrong, been in Ormond for 25 years now. I love the city, but at this point it's growing very fast. I'm just going to touch on a few bases regarding the Tomoka State Park. Can you hear me? Oh, Tomoka State Park, sorry. Usually I talk too loud. Obviously, the state wants to pave that road. I come from a family that's camped. I was camped since I was 8 years old. And with that in mind, the family up in Massachusetts at the time, it was all dirt roads, hundreds and hundreds of acres that you go camping. It was lovely. One thing the state of Massachusetts wouldn't do is pave them. And it was great because they never had traffic problems. You always had to pull over when another car came, basically. I know that's a lot wider. But the habitat in that area crosses that road because it doesn't know that it's a road. And it's been that those turtles, for instance, and whatnot, for centuries have crossed that same spot, and they're going to continue, rather, how many times they get hit. When I'm out of Ormond Lakes where I live, I see turtles on any given time, probably once or twice a week. They don't know what to do. They get out in the middle, they stay, and they get run over. That's just some of it. But we have a governor that's got an incentive, as we all know, for parks. He wants to find parks that they can put golf courses in and other things that would accommodate some of the needs we need in a whole state. Well, Ormond is unique. We have a golf course that is just sitting dormant with a 27-year lease that's not being utilized. I know we have Joyce over there saying that, you know, we don't have a need for it, but if you ever tried to go to the Riviera Golf Course on a Friday, you won't get a seat time. If that place was put back together and had somebody in there for the 2017 lease, we would have no issues. But that goes off the line a little bit instead of the State Park. But State Park does not need that road. We need to have it and leave it that way. And the other problem with that over there is you have small sites in a lot of the bigger campuses and stuff. We won't even go in there because it's dirt, but also they don't belong there because the sites are too small, being the history that I know about it. If you have a road like that, they're going to try to get in there, they're going to do it. It's just going to make it difficult for the average person with a pop-up tent or one of those type of vehicles for camper. That's something to be considered. But I think you have the ability to tell the state, suggest the state, with that money that we have that's there, we have the store over there is just falling apart. Air conditioners don't work. It's very difficult to utilize. I don't even see how they can do a business over there. And the conditions of the docks and whatnot over there are in terrible condition. People want to go fishing over there. They want to take their kayaks in there. That's where the money should be spent, not on that road. And that's something that I think the commissioners should impress upon the incentive that our governor is trying to do for this point. There's things that we could come forward with and maybe look like we're really trying to do something that better the community and utilize that, because it's a great place to go. I enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Donna Craig.
Hi, my name is Donna Craig. I live in Ormond by the Sea, close neighbor. So I'm here to speak against this FDEP proposal about paving the roadway through Tomoka State Park. I'm a local. I've grown up in this area. I was born a little bit away. I was 7th generation, born on my mother's side in St. Augustine, Florida, and we moved to this area when I was 2 years old. I don't remember it, but my older brother tells me he remembers when Granada was a dirt road beyond Nova Road, then called Canal, as I recall. So I grew up here. I went to Seabreeze. I went to Daytona Beach Community College, it was called then. I went to the University of Central Florida, graduated when it was still FTU. I think I sort of have some standing here as far as my love of the area and my knowledge of the area, and it's changed a lot, of course. It has to change. Change is inevitable. I did move away for a good long while, did my craziness in the city, and then came back because this was always home to me. And I see that a lot of things are changing, and that's good. It's inevitable. But I think we need to be smart about the things that we allow. Tomoka State Park is a wonderful park. I remember going on, as a brownie, we would go up there and have little cookouts and things, and we would have class field trips up there. It was a wonderful place to be. And part of the excitement was it was a dirt road. I mean, it was really a lot of fun. But it's natural. It's what the park is supposed to be. And the idea of having a paved roadway through that park makes me very sad. I think we need to preserve what we can. The natural environment here is precious, and it's what brings people here, and it's what keeps people here. We need to save what we can. So please, if you have an opportunity to speak to the state, to FDEP against this project, I would really appreciate it. I think that it's something that we can live without. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We're just going to go approval of minutes right now. Commission, these are the regular minutes from City Commission meeting of August 20th, 2024. They've been sent to the Commission for review, also posted to the city's website. Any additions, deletions, or corrections?
Move approval. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and we'll show those passing unanimously. We're now on the consent agenda, and does anyone wish to pull any item from the consent agenda? Commissioner Sargent.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. 8C and K, please.
8C and 8K. Anyone else? Are you sure it's C? I had a card on.
Is it B? I'm sorry, B and C.
No, B.
I think those are related. Let me double check.
Maybe I'm out of line.
B's the economic development
8B.
agreement with
And then,
EDC.
and C, B and C, please,
B and
Mr.
C.
Mayor.
B, C, and K?
No K, I'm sorry, I don't know why I had K written down.
Because I also have a card for K.
I move approval of the consent agenda minus B and C.
Second.
All right. Did you want to pull K?
I'll pull K as well as Mrs. Bright wanted that
Okay.
as well.
I move
I'm sorry.
approval of the consent
C and K.
agenda minus B, C, and K.
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Please call the vote.
Commissioner Persis,
Yes.
Commissioner Briley,
Yes.
Commissioner Tolland,
Yes.
Commissioner Sargent,
Yes.
Mayor Partington.
Yes. 8B.
Resolution number 2024-136, a resolution authorizing the execution of a cooperative economic development agreement between the City of Ormond Beach and Team Volusia Economic Development Corporation, authorizing the expenditure of funding and setting forth an effective date. This is resolution number 2024-136, read by title only.
Move approval.
Well, wait. I have a card on 8B. Ms. Jennifer Bright.
The Team Volusia Economic Development Corporation is an NGO, a non-government organization. The city has paid to participate since its conception in 2011. In all those years, our city manager has been an executive member. The fee to belong this year is $26,961. The city wants to give Team Volusia $30,000 to buy a seat on the executive board. The contract in the agenda packet only includes what the NGO will do this year. Unlike all the other agenda items in the agenda packet, all previous years of documentation is not supplied. So, what has our tax dollars done for us the last 13 years with this NGO? How many of those years has the city bought its way onto the executive board? I would like to see the city council hold off on ruling on this item until a cost analysis is provided. For example, what's the city spending year over year for the last 13 years to Team Volusia versus real revenue Team Volusia has earned for the city and was recognized on our books? This way we can have total transparency on how our money is spent. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we can have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Please call the vote.
Commissioner Briley,
Yes.
Commissioner Tolland,
Yes.
Commissioner Sargent,
Yes.
Commissioner Persis,
Yes.
Mayor Partington.
Yes. 8C.
Resolution number 2024-137, a resolution accepting a proposal from Cathedral Corporation to provide utility billing services, authorizing the execution of an agreement and payment therefore, rejecting all other proposals and setting forth an effective date. This is resolution number 2024-137, read by title only.
Thank you. I don't have any cards. All right. If we can get a motion and second for discussion.
I move approval of resolution number 2024-137.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Commissioner Sargent.
Thank you. I just have a question for staff on this. Is there an option for residents to opt out from receiving a paper copy?
Yes, there is.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Perfect. All righty. Please call the vote.
Commissioner Tolland,
Yes.
Commissioner Sargent,
Yes.
Commissioner Persis,
Yes.
Commissioner Briley,
Yes.
Mayor Partington.
Yes. 8K.
Disposition item titled Auto Renewal Yellowstone Landscape Grounds Maintenance Agreement.
Thank you. And I have a card again from Jennifer Bright.
The auto renewal for Yellowstone Landscape Grounds Maintenance. There are 91 pages of documentation for this auto renewal in the agenda packet. Dated 2012, which appears to be the original contract. The pages for the amendment to contract years 2017 are also present. But where are the pages for the amendment to contract for years 2019 through 2023? Why is there not a breakdown of the cost for this new renewal bid? I would like to see the City Council hold off on this ruling until the above information can be supplied and a year-over-year cost analysis done, comparing the same grounds maintenance services listed in the original contract. This way, once again, we could hopefully have total transparency.
Thank you. And 8K, I just need a motion in a second.
I move approval.
Second.
All right. Please call the vote.
Commissioner Sargent?
Yes.
Commissioner Persis?
Yes.
Commissioner Briley?
Yes.
Commissioner Tolland?
Yes.
Mayor Partington?
Yes, and we are now at public hearings. I'll open the public hearings, ask the clerk to read, well, before I do that, let me double check. Are there any commissioners who wish to comment on any consent agenda items? Commissioner Persis.
Yes, on 8N, the capital improvement plan, would there be a way we could all get a copy of that? Shanahan? Okay, thank you. I would like one. Thank you. Hard copy, please. I don't know if you all want one.
And just, just to speak to Kay, we did have an update of all the numbers for the contract up to 2024. I'm not sure why they weren't in the agenda packet, but I'm sure we can make those available to you, Ms. Bright, if needed. Is that correct, staff? Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you.
We're now at public hearings. I'll open the public hearings, ask the clerk to read 9A, please.
Ordinance number 2024-24, an ordinance authorizing the execution and issuance of the second amended development order for a planned residential development known as Plantation Oaks, authorizing an amendment to the neighborhood commercial list of uses to allow warehouse indoor mini rental as a permitted use under certain conditions, authorizing a site development plan for the neighborhood commercial parcel located at 1730 Plantation Oaks Boulevard, and setting forth an effective date. This is the second reading of ordinance number 2024-24, read by title only.
Thank you. This is a second reading. I don't have any cards for 9A.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion, questions? Please call the vote.
Commissioner Persis?
Yes.
Commissioner Briley?
Yes.
Commissioner Tolland?
Yes.
Commissioner Sargent?
Yes.
Mayor Partington?
Yes, and we will close the public hearings. Move to 10A.
Resolution number 2024-145, a resolution declaring the results of the primary municipal election conducted in the city of Ormond Beach, Florida on Tuesday, August 20, 2024, authorizing the issuance of a certificate setting forth an effective date. This is resolution number 2024-145, read by title only.
Thank you. I don't have any cards.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or questions? Susan, did you want to say anything? Nope. All right. Commissioner Sargent.
I just would like to say congratulations to Commissioner-elect Dean that's in the crowd. It's exciting for her to be up here in a couple months. Thank you.
Well said. Commissioner Persis.
And I also want to extend my congratulations to you, and thank you always for being here. It's wonderful seeing you out there.
Anyone else?
I will echo those sentiments. Kristen, congratulations.
All right.
I would be remiss if I wasn't part of this gang. Of course, we're very proud of you and very happy, and we appreciate the hard work that you put in being here. So thank you.
Please call the vote.
Commissioner Briley?
Yes.
Commissioner Tolland?
Yes.
Commissioner Sargent?
Yes.
Commissioner Persis?
Yes.
Mayor Partington?
Yes, and now that it's official, congratulations, Kristen. Yep. We are at reports, suggestions, and requests, and tonight we start with City Manager Joyce Shanahan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a reminder that due to the way the county goes first on budget, your meeting, the second meeting in the month will also be on a Wednesday. That'll be 9/18/2024. And then one last move of the meeting on 10/1 will move to 10/2 because National Night Out is on 10/1. So everybody enjoys celebrating that, and it's a wonderful night to see our police officers in action and see all the kiddos having a great time. The Reel in the Fun fishing tournament. The last one is scheduled for October 5th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Bailey River Bridge Garden. You know, they do one in the fresh water, they do one in the salty water, they do one in the lake, and then, where's that? And the ocean. That's the best one, actually, in my opinion. Not that I catch any fish. So again, National Night Out will be at Rockefeller Gardens, 25 Riverside Drive, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. And I have only one further comment, and staff wishes to congratulate Ms. Steeton and tell her that we're excited to be working with her. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions for the city manager? Assistant City Manager Sean Finley. Thank you. Assistant City Manager Claire Whitley. Nothing tonight? All right. And City Attorney Randy Hayes.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. And tonight we start with Commissioner Tolland.
Okay. I'd like to make...
Sorry.
never mind. Anyway, I'd like to make a couple comments related to the audience comments in the beginning. Mr. Morrison and his pictures. I'm hoping that maybe we can, I can reach out to Sean with Public Works, I guess, again, to see if there's something we can do to help them. You know, it looks like we've been helping him in the past, but maybe have a meeting with him and see what you can do to assist. If the rest of the commission agrees, I think that would be a nice thing to do. Also, I'd like to speak about the code enforcement with Elaine Davis. I know we don't have a code enforcement, and that's a whole nother budgeted item that we haven't talked about. But Ms. Davis has come over and over again, and I don't know if there's anything we can do to help her clean up her street a little bit. Maybe that's something the police can take back and discuss, and how they can help her. I think it would be the right thing to do if we can help. That's my opinion on that. All right, so I'm going to save my comments for the Tomoka State Park at the end. We already talked about Kristen. I do want to announce that I was accepted to the Legislative Policy Committee within the Florida League of Cities. I just found that out, so I'm really happy to get involved. And that is going to be for utilities, natural resources, and public works. So watch out, Sean. I'm on you. And what I'd like to ask is if anyone has any thoughts that they want me to share or anything to bring to my attention. I don't know how we do that with Sunshine. Maybe bring it to Joyce's attention and then she shares with me. But we will work that out. But I'm really happy to serve on that committee. And the first meeting will be October 4th. I did attend the Volusia County Road Project meeting at the library, which was quite informative of all the potential projects that the Volusia County Council has not voted on yet, but it looks like a lot of our traffic problems and road problems are at least being addressed. Let's see, another comment to something I talked about last year, and I just don't want us to forget about the need to maybe include those mental wellness signages with any trails that we're doing. We do have that partner with Advent Hospital, and I just don't want that to get put under the rug. I'm just bringing it up.
Yeah, we're still working on
Okay,
getting
perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. And another thing I brought up, and I did bring this up to staff, and I don't, it's just been a recent thing I brought up. You know, I'm always afraid of like missed opportunities within a city, and I had talked to staff about now that the owners of the property of 135 North Young Street, the Dollar Tree people, are not building those condos and those apartments. You know, they got it all approved and made all those adjustments so the residents wouldn't be compromised as much with traffic. So that property is for sale. And just wanted to throw it out there that that property may be something, if this commission and if the staff thinks it's necessary, may be something we may want to look at to purchase for either water retention and also would save the traffic in those two roads. Might protect the residents from traffic and may have some opportunities for us. Not that I'm out trying to spend government money, but sometimes there's missed opportunities that we need to look at. And then finally, my last comment would be on the Tomoka State Park. And so I had been talking to Ms. Scheiber a lot over the last couple of weeks, and she brought a lot of good points to my attention. And I really do appreciate her passion and her research and everything that she does. But with my personality, I have to do my own research as well. So I talk to many people at the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. I talk to some park rangers, and of course did additional research. And I just feel like my original request was going to ask the City Commission to write a letter to stop the paving. But what I did learn, and what we don't know, what I got to remember is, number one, this project's been in the works since 2008. It was a visitor-driven initiative, which means when you leave a park and you write your little card, what do you see, you know, how was your experience, how you can make it better? It was driven that a lot of the larger RVs were getting stuck in the potholes. They were regrading. They have tried the shell. They have tried the rock. And every time you do that, you are regrading and you're taking down more land and pushing it to the side. And I'm not an engineer, but from what I was told was that when you do a paving project, it kind of protects the land that's underneath. Now, do we like the old feel, the old Florida feel? Of course, all of us like to go into a park and see that old road. I was a runner too back in the day, and I too used to run through that park and do the loop all the time, and I loved that. But I think that paving the 1.5 miles does make sense. I am convinced it is not part of that Florida Parks initiative that DeSantis tried to put on us right away. I don't believe that that has anything to do with that. Pretty comfortable with that. Let's see. And as far as the archaeological sensitive lands, I was told that the paving would protect that more. And when they do the paving, they will have a archaeologist on site, and he will be retained during that time to protect that property. So saying that, I am not for requesting to not pave the road, and we also can't use the paving money for the other things that are needed in the park, because there's two different pots of money. You just can't just take from one pot and use it for another. It's always designated for different things. So understanding all of the above, that's kind of where I stand with the Tomoka State Park. So thank you for letting me ramble on.
Thank you.
With that, I'll say goodnight.
Thank you. Yep, Commissioner Sargent.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last week, my wife and I had the privilege of traveling out to Las Vegas, and I got to tell you, after visiting there, it sure is nice to come back to paradise. You know, there's no grass out there. Everything's dead. Rocks. Just driving around paved. All I can say is we live in paradise. And thank you to staff and Kelly and Chris. I don't know if they're still here. They might have left. For all they do with the budget. We are very fortunate to have great staff. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Persis.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I just have to mention, as an educator, that we need to keep the people in Winder, Georgia. What happened at Appalachia High School today with the shooting, there's 4 people dead, just makes me sick that something like that happens. And my heart just goes out to the town, to the school, to the children, to the parents. And I just can't imagine what they're going through right now. So I just hope we all keep them in our thoughts and prayers. I just had to mention that. And as far as some things that were brought up tonight, the code enforcement issue, I really am in favor of that. There's, not just Wilmette, because I know that is a kind of, some areas definitely look blighted, but I would like to see some other areas be looked at too, because we do have them in the city. And I do believe we're getting more of it because we don't have the code enforcement that we really need to have. So if we maybe could talk about that sometime, what we could possibly do, maybe meet with the chief or something. But I just think that's something that needs to be looked at. I also wanted to mention my neighbor, Ron Morrison, who was here to talk about the issue on Hidden Hills and Timberland Trail. I have been out there many times, and they have tried, these residents have put so much money into trying to fix this pond, this weir. And I don't know what the solution is because I'm not an engineer. I don't know, Sean, you certainly know much more than I. But it is an issue. The water right now is bubbling. It's so stagnant. And there's mosquitoes, there's snakes. I mean, it never used to look like that. It was a beautiful pond. You would drive down and there were birds, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And now it just looks terrible. And each resident on that street, on those two streets, they're putting in $1,400 to try to pay this friend of theirs that has this big machine that's going to scoop out everything and try to get the water flowing. My concern is there's a clogged pipe down, toward Granada maybe somewhere. I don't know. Again, I'm not an engineer. I probably shouldn't say that, but I think there's something wrong that we need to try to help these citizens with. And thank you, Commissioner Tallon, for mentioning that, because they've really just taken it on the chin for a long time. And anything we can do to help, I hope everybody agrees to help these residents. I would appreciate it. And last but not least, the paving issue, it is concerning to me. I see both sides. I mean, I don't know if there's a great answer, but I do not have a problem writing a letter, though, because if something else even could be done that could keep the look of nature and the look of just a dirt road. I'm a former runner too, and I loved running on dirt roads. It's so freeing and just wonderful. And so if there's anything we could do, I'm in favor of that. And thank you all for listening. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Briley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple things this evening. One, I got a phone call from a business owner in the community, and his concern is the amount of homelessness he's seeing within the city. One of the latest things we saw was a tent that was pitched over on Thompson Creek Road next to the Ace Hardware, over next to the bus bench. Folks camping on the sidewalk in a tent. So if there's some, I know we've discussed it before, and I know that the city of DeLand, I believe, has enacted some ordinances regarding, I think, panhandling and homelessness. I know the city of Jacksonville has as well. If we can maybe look at some of that stuff and see if it's been challenged in court and see if it would even hold up. I think, if we can try to get some sort of grip on it. I'm getting more and more calls on it, I guess, as people are seeing it, people pushing empty wheelchairs down Granada Boulevard. I mean, just it's becoming, I guess, more of it's a safety issue for not only the people who are homeless, but also, the people who are, in seeing this are concerned for the people. So, and then I'll just end the Tomoka State Park issue. And like many of us, I'm born and raised here. I've been going to that park all my life. My mother and father went to that park when they were youngsters, and as did probably my grandparents, probably before it was a park. In any case, I do think, I don't know who's at the wheel on this thing with the Florida State Parks Department, but I don't think golf courses and hotels are good ideas for state parks. First of all, golf courses dump pesticides and fertilizers and are kind of environmental hazards. Even hunting in state parks, I don't know who came up with that idea either. Last thing I want to be doing is enjoying the state park and have to worry about a bullet flying over my shoulder. As far as the road paving at Tomoka State Park, that's one of the things we enjoy about going to Tomoka State Park is it's like traveling back into old Florida. And I'm one of those people that has a camper, so I might regret saying this, but if I get my camper stuck, I guess I get it stuck. I'm not in favor of paving that road. I mean, we're only advised, we can only recommend to the state about what we would like. But I don't see, I think if you pave that road, and some of the comments that were brought up tonight, I think are very, very valid. People tend, if it's a smoother road, they're going to go faster. You know, and it does take away from the scenic park-like setting. I agree with some of the comments that were made. I don't think it makes good environmental sense. And listen, this park has been up there for, I don't know how long, a lot of years, and they've made it work this long. My message to the state is just keep making it work with what you've been doing. As far as, and I totally understand, Commissioner Tom, I guess you've spoken with the folks there, and about $1.5 million to pave that road. I mean, I'd rather see that money go to Chief Tomoki and restore Chief Tomoki. Or as Mr. Armstrong said, I believe, repair the docks that are in disrepair up there. I think the priorities here are kind of a little bit backwards with Tomoka State Park. I say keep the road dirt and improve the amenities and protect our historic assets up there. With that, Mr. Mayor, I'll say goodnight. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much.